it's entirely possible, in fact, likely, because conservative scholars have been writing about this, that both of them will be thrown out on technicality because Lindsay Halligan, the state's attorney who is prosecuting both of these cases, first of all, it should be said that her predecessors all resigned because they said that these are politically motivated charges and that even if a grand jury signs off on them, there's no way you're going to get a conviction on them. So they resigned, at which point Trump appointed Lindsay Halligan. But the problem with that is that if there is no state's attorney, the president does not get to appoint one. The attorney general would have to do it. And so Lindsay Halligan's indictment may have no validity at all because she's illegally serving in this job. And by the way, she's not a prosecutor. She's never prosecuted a case once. She was an insurance lawyer that basically negotiated settlements. God. So it's not clear the cases will move forward in any case. They're both very, very dubious. In the Comey case, Comey's defense has already said, now that they're in the discovery period, you're withholding evidence. And the Department of Justice is refusing to provide the evidence that they gave to the grand jury that led to Comey's very narrow indictment. They indicted him with like the minimum number of jurors possible. And in the case of Letitia James, the charges are kind of frivolous and they may be on a technicality anyway. She's being charged with mortgage fraud because she owned homes in Virginia and New York, and the home in Virginia she had listed as a secondary residence, I believe, but it was being used as a rental property, which is a separate distinction. And she would have saved $18,000 by saying this over a 30-year period with her mortgage. So, and this is someone who can afford a house in New York. Like $18,000 is not a lot of money to her. It isn't. So it's, again, it's a very, very dubious charge. It is not going to be great political theater. I think it's going to be eye-rolling political theater. And most important of all, given the current congressional shutdown and current lack of budget, it's a huge waste of potentially millions of taxpayer dollars that could be going to something else. It may, millions of dollars are not necessarily, they're big money to most of us, but they're not really money, big money in the great government scheme of things. It is, however, money that could be going to healthcare or other subsidies that would help the American people.
We don't like healthcare in the United States anymore.
No.